Hello my friends, it's Alexandria here of Alexandria Barker Coaching, and I wanted to speak to, specifically to the empaths today. I wanted to just to shed some light on what it is to be an empath and just ways that you can navigate these sometimes deep and treacherous waters. So being an empath, you feel things, and sometimes feel things really deeply, especially if there's been an event that's involving more than one person and possibly many people. There's a lot of energy there, there's a lot of emotion there. There could be fear, horror, devastation, depending on the circumstances. And we can pick up on this, which is very natural. It's all vibrational. So if you're vibrationally in tune, you're going to pick up on it. But it can kind of throw you off your axis a little bit if you're not used to it, especially. Even if you are, as I was recently very strongly reminded, it can knock you on your ass. It did me. I had feelings because of an incident that had happened that I didn't know about yet, and they were very strong feelings. And then I had a dream that was further elaborating on what had happened, but it didn't make sense until I happened on a news article that explained the fatalities that had been very public at a beach. People just out having a good time, and people died. And you know, the rescue workers were there and they weren't able to revive them. So if you think for a minute of what that would feel like, not only to the families who just set out to have a good time that day and then lost a beloved family member, but everyone else who was on the beach, everyone who was in any way associated with it as the word got out, anybody who read that newspaper article and connected with it. There's a lot of energy there. So what can happen is you can get these feelings, and they can be overwhelming, and they can really, like, as I say, knock you on your ass, especially if you don't know where they're coming from or why. So, but we don't have to. So what our role is as light workers, as empaths, is to shed light and just to send love and light. And even though you're feeling these feelings, and they can be frightening and they can be very strong, but they're not going to last long because they're not yours. So if you don't resist it, if you just let it flow through you, it'll carry on its merry way, and you can get down to the business of sending love and light. So just to know that, the more you resist, the more it's going to hang around, because now you're beginning to match vibrationally. So you're basically claiming it as your own, but you really don't have to. So I know a lot of empaths struggle with feeling the emotions of others, but it can really throw you off when you're not even aware of the event. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you some tools about that. And also I wanted to just some of my thoughts on the matter. Like, I was also getting, once the initial waves of it went by, I was getting more feelings about how senseless it was and the unfairness of it all, which I realized was also coming from the loved ones who had been left behind. And so I just wanted to take this time to kind of remind myself and anyone watching that, there is order to the chaos. There's divine order, and there's reasons why people choose to go at certain times. Now, perhaps in that situation, there was someone else who wasn't being mindful and cautious around the water who now will be. There was something similar happened to another body of water that I go to all the time, and there had been years ago 2 drownings. Same sort of thing. It was an undertow. It was a grandfather and a child. The child went down, the grandfather went after. Many onlookers also tried to assist, and nobody was able to reach him. It was tragic, but now there are life rings there, and all along the water's edge, there's like everywhere people will swim, there's now a life ring. Because if that had been there that time, somebody's life would have been saved. So who knows how many other countless lives have been saved because of that. So maybe that's why they opted to leave the world in such a way that it would make a strong statement and help other people, because that's what we do. We're here for eternity. So each life is just like walking into a movie. Like, this is gonna be my life. So you might opt to watch a horror one day. And get, you know, a love story the next day, like, or life. You know what I mean? It's just to illustrate this a little bit more. I was down here by the water and planning to make this video for you, and I noticed a butterfly and just caught my eye, and so I just kind of watched it for a minute, and it landed on a branch, and then it folded its wings, and for all the world appeared to be a dead leaf just sitting there attached to it. And so I watched it, and then it took flight again, and it was a butterfly again. So it had looked dead, completely dead, and then it flew away. So there is no death. I mean, we're energy. Energy changes forms, but it doesn't dissipate. So even those people who, you know, died, they're not dead. They're like the butterfly. They just went off on their own way. So, you know, so again, there's no reason to feel that sorrow, that sadness. That's more for those left behind. But them, we can help by sending love. And we don't have to know where it's going. We can just sit and intend to send love, to send Reiki, to send energy healing, whatever form you know that to be. Just sending that love, it'll get where it's supposed to go. So again, you could use the mantra that I use often: may they be safe, may they be well, may they be peaceful, may they be joyful. And just know that it's going to be received. And when you've done that, you'll probably notice that whatever that heaviness that you're experiencing will lift as well. I encountered many butterflies. I came out here today to make sense of it all, and I saw a lot of butterflies, and I knew they were trying to convey to me to lighten up, and I was trying to lighten up, but it was just really, I was railing against it, and the water looked ruthless and volatile and dangerous, and I hated it, and I was so angry with it. But I come out here every day because I love it so much. So I really needed to lighten up and take a different perspective. And, you know, maybe that incident will help remind people that a lake is not a backyard swimming pool. We can't control it. We need to be mindful. We need to be cautious and really pay attention and not think that, you know, we can't turn off the undertows. We can't turn off the waves. So maybe that was the message that those people chose to give us. So they're heroes, and you know, bless them and everyone concerned. So just know, if you are an empath and you're feeling something, you don't have to know why it is, but you'll know if it doesn't feel like it's you, then you can just sit with it for a minute and just intend that love to go wherever it's needed, and then you've done your job. And that's all you have to do. That's all anybody is asking of you. It's just, you know, with that gift there comes that responsibility. So you can fight it and it can really make your life miserable, or you can just accept it and just, like I say, let it flow through you. And that's all I have to say about that. We're all here together. We're all in this together, and I'm here to support you. And if you need help with that, reach out to me, connect with me. Anyway, big love. Till next time.